Thank you for clicking. I'm Mark Morse, and today I have been inspired by a video by Jack from the Vinyl Voyage, who himself was inspired by a video from Jeff Whitcher. Jeff Whitcher seems to have been inspired by a video from Chris Profi. So there's a little chain going on here. It's not really a thread, but I guess you might confuse it for one. Today I'm going to talk about two records that I was forbidden to play in my teenage life when I was living at home with my parents. My mom was very cool woman. She defended my right to listen to just about anything I wanted to. I tell everybody the story of the first record I ever bought was Alice Cooper's Welcome to My Nightmare. And I remember overhearing her on the phone talking to my sister Lynn, I believe, and I heard her saying, I think it's good that he saved his money and that he went out and bought something that he really wanted. I could tell on the other end of the line. My sister, I believe it was her, I hate to point her out, but I'm pretty sure it was her, who was obviously saying he's too young, he shouldn't be listening to Alice Cooper kills chickens and that kind of stuff. So I always knew my mom was pretty cool. My father, on the other hand, he did not like anything I listened to, mainly because I played it too loud. The good thing that saved me was I came from a big family. I had, there are 9 kids in the family. I was number 8. So by the time they got to me, they had already dealt with a lot of rebellious children and teenagers, and so I was nothing new. So my father, he would tell me to turn it down or turn it off, but he never forbade me from listening to anything. But I want to talk about 2 records that my mother did ask me not to just not play them. She was okay that I played them, but she didn't want me playing them while she was in the house, which I thought was a nice compromise. Both of these records come from 1978. So I was 16 years old when my mother had this conversation with me. And the first record, Alice Cooper, From the Inside. And this was a record where Alice had documented his stay at an asylum when he was being treated for alcoholism. And it has a lot of interesting characters in here, supposedly inspired by real people he met while in the asylum. I actually have 2 copies. That's my original from 1978. This is also from 1978, but it's a promo copy. I got it later because this has a lot of little flaps where you can open and look at things. Mine was getting so beat up. This is back in the day when these little plastic covers weren't commonly used to protect records. But I ended up getting this one. This one is still beat up, but not as bad. And so there's all sorts of little cool little things, like here's Alice getting released from the asylum. This one still has the hype stickers on it and stuff. You open it up. There's the ward at the asylum. You open this quiet room and there's Alice working on his wrists there. And that kind of takes us to why my mom did not want me listening to this record while she was in the house. I think it disturbed her very much. It wasn't the subject matter or the concept of being put in an asylum so much as some of the lyrics to some of the songs. And let me remind you, I had a guitar and an amplifier, and then I bought this cheap microphone, and I realized I could just plugged the microphone right into the amplifier, I could sing along with these songs at a very loud volume. And so I would often sing along to these songs. So she was hearing some disturbing lyrics. So the song has a lot of, I know this isn't a real popular Alice Cooper album with a lot of people. People seem to not think much of it or not like it at all. There's a few of us, though, that really love this album, and I'm one of them. I think because of the time it came out, I was 16. It seemed like Alice kind of getting to the creepy storylines that I love from him. But my mother, and I was very shocked to find how often my mother would listen to the lyrics of albums, because I would listen to records, and during supper or breakfast she'd say, you know that Violent Femmes song that starts out, why can't I get just one kiss? That just gets more and more disturbing but she never forbade me from listening to it. But she did forbid this album. That I think the one that got her was, there's a song on here called The Quiet Room. And there's a lyric in here. They've got this place where they've been keeping me, where I can't hurt myself. Excuse me. I can't get my wrist to bleed. I don't know why unaliving myself appeals to me. So I think she heard that. I've been a little sick lately. I think she heard that, and she was concerned for her gloomy son. I'm going to stop for just 1 second. Sorry about that. I've had kind of a cough and sore throat lately. So my mother was more concerned about, I think, my mental health than this album. And I think it disturbed her to hear me singing along with lyrics that, talked about unaliving yourself and trying to get your wrist to bleed, that kind of stuff. So I've never held that against her. I've always respected my mom for that kind of stuff. I want to tell one more story about Alice Cooper, and it involves the $1 Billion Babies album. I did a video, albums I love. $1 Billion Babies is maybe my favorite, probably my favorite Alice Cooper record. And there's a song on there called I Love the Dead. I was not forbidden to listen to I Love the Dead, but there was a song on there, and it was a Sunday night, and my mom worked Sunday nights. So I knew my dad was the only one home, and it was dangerous to play loud music when my dad was home alone and mom wasn't there to tell him, let him listen to his music, George. So I was listening on headphones, and I had a room upstairs. It was an attic room. And I was listening on headphones, and I had my eyes closed. I was laying on the floor, had my head on a pillow. And I started singing along with I Love the Dead. And I don't know if you've ever heard somebody sing along to a record when they have headphones on, but it's horrible and you're a lot louder than you think you are. The one thing my dad would do is, instead of yelling up, trying to yell over the music, he would take the light switch and he'd flick it on and off, and that meant turn the music down or turn it off. Well, I was listening to this music, my eyes closed. I didn't notice he was turning the light on and off. And you can imagine a father listening to his son yelling, I love the dead, very loudly, out of tune, and how disturbing that would be. Anyway, all I know is I was singing along with my eyes closed, my head on the pillow, and I felt a little kick to my ribs, and I opened my eyes. My dad was a very tall man, 6'3", 6'4", and I looked up from the floor, and he's looking down at me, and I took my headphones off, and all he said was, "Knock it off," and then he walked downstairs. I just wanted to get that Alice Cooper story in there. So the second album that I was forbidden to listen to in my parents' house, this album that also came out in 1978. Jim Morrison, he reads his poetry. The Doors put some music to it. It's done very well. I still love this album. It's done really well. It sounds great. But it's a spoken word album for the most part. It's Jim Morrison reading his poetry. They put this together after his death, obviously. But I love this thing. It came out 1978, just like the other one. And my mom had the conversation with me at the same time. She's like, Alice Cooper and this. She did not like the Jim Morrison poetry, and she thought it was way too dark, and it is, of course, pretty dark. This thing, I love this thing. I still love this album. I still love the way it's presented. This used to be in the gatefold when I originally had the album. You read it like a book. Now it's kind of its own separate thing, which is fine. But it has all the poetry in here. I can still... this is probably some of the only poetry I have memorized. I used to try to memorize poetry when I was a younger person, and I could recite certain things. I've forgotten a lot of stuff, but I can still recite some of this Morrison poetry, even with my memory loss that's come with the years. I think I can still do some. I'm not going to play any of this just for I don't want any copyright strikes, but let me recite this one thing. It starts off, "We used to believe in the good old days and still receive in little ways the things of kindness and unsporting brow, forget and allow. Did you know freedom exists in a school book? Did you know madmen are running our prison within a jail, within a gale? Within a white free Protestant maelstrom, we're perched headlong on the edge of boredom. We're trying for something that has already found us." I believe that's pretty close. It might not be exact, but it's pretty close. If I think of it, I'll post the words up there. That wasn't particularly the one that would get her, but that's one I can still remember. This is a fascinating album. I really, if I haven't mentioned it 2 or 3 times before, I really do enjoy this. I still enjoy this. Apparently, when Ray Manzarek was putting this together, he tried to divide it into 5 sections. I just read this on Wikipedia before I started this, and I thought it was interesting enough that I would tell you about it. The first covering Morrison's childhood, the second covering his high school years, the third concerning the young poet stoned on a rooftop with acid dreams, the fourth covering his musical career, and finally the fifth being a final summation in a way of the man's entire life and his philosophy. I never knew that until just today. It makes sense. It's very cohesive, though. I love the way it flows. There is one Doors song on here, Roadhouse Blues. It's a live version. There's a great interaction between Morrison and a fan in the audience about astrology that I still find amusing. But there's some very dark stuff in here, and some stuff that a parent would find obscene. In fact, it's so risque, I probably won't read it on YouTube video. Oh gosh, there's a great line right there that I probably shouldn't read, but it all flows together very well, and then it ends with an American prayer, which is awesome. I'm going to if you look something up to see why maybe my mother would not be hip on this album, look up Lament. Lament on this album probably is something that would make a parent uneasy. Wait, you're going to have to take my word on some of this. It had a very dark feel to it. Those were 2 records that I was forbidden to play in the house while my mom was still in the house. Now, my dad, I don't think he cared, but I did respect my mom's wishes. I never played those when she was in the house. Did it make me love the albums more, though? Yes. Yes, it did. I loved being the rebellious teen, as all teenagers should. So, thanks for watching, and thanks Jack from the Vinyl Voyage for the inspiring video to make me do this video, and I'll talk to everybody again soon.